In the beginning, the world was woven by the wheel of time, turning endlessly through the ages, each age leaving behind echoes of the one before. In this turning, men and women were granted the power of the One, the true source, divided into Sidin and Sidar, the male and female halves. Long ago, men's side of the power was tainted by the Dark One, and what followed was a breaking of the world, lands torn apart, cities vanished beneath the sea, and mountains rose where plains had once been. From those ruins, humanity endured, rebuilding, forgetting the past as ages turned again. In one such age, the Third Age, the story begins, a tale of light and shadow, destiny and choice, of heroes who did not know they were such. In the quiet village of Emond's Field, hidden within the Two Rivers region, the people lived simple lives of farming, shepherding, and weaving. They had little care for the wider world and even less for the legends of Aes Sedai and magic. But on one spring evening, during the annual Beltane festival, the winds carried change. Rand al'Thor, a tall red-haired shepherd, walked the road with his father Tam, leading their cart of cider barrels toward the village green. Snow still lingered in the shadows of the forest though the season had turned, and Rand felt an unease he couldn't name. He thought he saw something in the woods, a tall figure cloaked in black upon a horse, motionless, watching. The rider gave no sound, no movement. Only the sense of being seen stayed with him, chilling him to the bone. When Rand mentioned it to Tam, his father frowned. Perhaps it was a merchant, he said, though his tone held doubt. In the village, the people were busy preparing for the festivities. Mat Cawthon, Rand's mischievous friend, was already whispering about pranks and mischief. Perrin Ibarra, the blacksmith's apprentice, was quiet and thoughtful, amused by Mat's talk. Egwene Alvir, the innkeeper's daughter and Rand's childhood friend, carried herself with pride. She had just been allowed to braid her hair, marking her as a woman grown in the eyes of the village. Nynaeve Almira, the young but fiery wisdom of the town, watched over everyone with sharp eyes, scolding where needed, though her care for them all was clear. The villagers spoke eagerly of the strangers who had arrived, a noble-looking woman in silks, calling herself Moraine, and her silent companion, Lon, a tall man with the air of a soldier. Outsiders were rare in Emond's Field, and rarer still those who carried such presents. Moraine claimed to be a collector of old stories, but her calm eyes missed nothing, and her ring, a serpent biting its own tail, marked her as Aes Sedai, one of the powerful women who could channel the One Power. With them came another visitor, a gleeman named Tom Marilyn, whose cloak of many colors drew the attention of every child and adult alike. As night fell and the festivities began, the dark figure appeared again, not to Rand this time. After the battle at the Eye of the World, Rand's world shifted. The truth of who he might be pressed upon him like a storm he could not outrun. Moraine's calm gaze followed him, watchful, patient, as if she already knew every choice he would make. Yet Rand wanted no part of it. He was just a shepherd from the Two Rivers, not the Dragon Reborn, not the world's salvation or its doom. But the wheel of time does not care for desire. It weaves every life into the pattern it needs. As the group made its way back south, shadows gathered once more. Word spread of the Horn of Valyr's discovery, a relic said to summon the dead heroes of legend to fight in the last battle. Nations stirred. Armies marched. Dark friends crept through cities, spreading chaos. The Aes Sedai spoke of the dragon being reborn somewhere in the world, and many feared what that would mean. Rand tried to stay hidden, but the more he ran, the tighter the pattern pulled him toward destiny. Mat's condition worsened. The dagger he had taken from Shadar Logoth poisoned his spirit, its evil whispering to him in the night. By the time they reached the city of Tar Valon, Mat was on the brink of death. Moraine and the Aes Sedai of the White Tower worked together to sever the dagger's hold, saving his life but leaving a scar upon his soul that would never fully heal. Egwene and Nynaeve, drawn to the White Tower by their desire to learn the power, were taken in as novices. The tower was a place of beauty and fear, a palace of marble halls where every woman walked with power and secrets. There, the Amerlin seat, Suin Sanche, ruled with wisdom and iron will. When she looked upon Rand, she saw not a boy but the answer to prophecy. The Amerlin and Moiraine shared a secret past, allies from years long gone, working quietly toward the same goal, finding and guiding the Dragon Reborn. They told Rand that the pattern itself demanded his existence, that the last battle was coming. Rand, terrified, refused to accept it. He fled Tar Valon, desperate for a life that wasn't written for him by fate or prophecy. He wandered the wilds with loyal friends at his side, hunted by those who wanted to control him and those who wanted him dead. In the lands beyond, danger festered. The Shan Chan, a powerful empire from across the sea, invaded the western shores, enslaving women who could channel the power and calling them domain, leashed ones. Egwene was captured in one of their raids, bound by a collar that allowed her captors to control her every movement and thought. Her pain and fury burned deep, but she endured. With the help of Nynaeve and Elaine, she escaped, vowing never to be powerless again. That vow would shape her path forever. Meanwhile, Perrin, guided by the wolves and torn between the man he was and the beast he feared becoming, found love and loss in equal measure. His golden eyes marked him as something other, and he struggled to balance the animal instincts awakening within him. Yet he ran. The world stood on the edge of ruin. Armies marched under banners of every color, kings and queens gathered in uneasy alliance, and the sky burned with omens. The last battle, long prophesied, had come at last. Rand al'Thor, the Dragon Reborn, stood at the center of it all, a man who bore the memories of countless lifetimes and the hopes of all living things. His enemies were many, his allies uncertain, and yet the wheel turned, weaving all toward this single moment in time. As the seals on the Dark One's prison weakened, the land itself began to die. Blight spread once more across the northern plains, blackening forests and poisoning rivers. The sky grew red at dawn and black at noon, and creatures of shadow walked openly. The Forsaken gathered their armies, each plotting not only against the light but against each other, for even within the shadow there was hunger for power. The last battle would not be one conflict, but many, fought on every front, in every heart, across the very weave of reality. Rand's every step was watched by those who loved him and those who feared him. Min, Elaine, and Avienda, the three bound to him by heart and prophecy, stood as his strength when madness whispered to him. Sidin was cleansed, but the weight of power remained unbearable. Within his mind, the voice of Luz Theron still echoed, the echo of the man he had once been in another age, urging him toward destruction, whispering that only by ending all things could peace be found. Yet Rand resisted. He had learned too much, lost too many, to give in to despair. Moiraine returned from the world beyond, pulled back from the brink of death through ancient bargains made by her allies. She had seen worlds that bent the pattern differently, where choices branched endlessly. Her wisdom, sharpened by what she had witnessed, steadied Rand in his darkest hours. She reminded him that victory was not in annihilation, but in balance, that even the Dark One had a place in the weave, as shadow gives shape to light. Mat Cauthon, gambler, soldier, and trickster, became the general the world needed. His memories, fragments of lives lived by dead heroes, guided him through battles none else could win. With his strange fox-head medallion that defied the power and his impossible luck, he led the united armies of the light. Under his command stood the banners of Ander, Carrion, the Borderlands, and even the Ale. He turned chaos into order, using wit and instinct to outmaneuver the shadow's endless tide. He laughed often, but in those moments between battles, the laughter carried pain, the knowledge that luck alone could not save them all. Perrin Ibarra fought a battle of a different kind. Within the dream world, Teleran Riot, the shadow sought to twist reality itself. Perrin's mastery over the wolf dream made him the guardian of that realm. There he faced Slayer, a creature born of both man and beast, servant of the Dark One. The two hunted each other through endless DR.